So Superman, a pretty powerful person, and not only just a hero on Earth, but at this point pretty much all across the universe. And we will see exactly what happens when a foreign alien species comes to Earth asking for help, and maybe even drag Superman along with his friends into a dangerous ride. Now my name is AJ, this is the Hero Informer, and let's get into it. So as we pick up and begin, not only do we see Superman in his Clark Kent disguise, but we also see and find out something very interesting. You see, this entire situation takes place early inside of Superman's career, meaning yeah, while he is still the same powerful Kryptonian, he isn't the same well-seasoned hero that he usually is. But we see him with Jimmy Olsen picking up a nearby scoop at a basketball game, and while this goes on, suddenly everything starts to shake and change, as a bright energy beam opens up right in the middle of the court, surprising everyone there. Everyone but, of course, Superman, as not only has he already seen it, but he left in a hurry to get into his big boy clothes. But who or what caused this portal and what is going on? Well, we immediately see that it is aliens. Aliens with advanced technology, as some sort of green reptilian creature steps out of the portal. And as he does, he immediately gets into a fight with the nearest person, knocking him down. But it seems this wasn't the right move for the alien, as a bunch of the other students on the court gang up and literally start to beat the alien intruder down. Which I mean kind of makes sense, right? Even for a normal random guy, there are many strange things within the DC universe, even on specifically Earth, ranging from magic, aliens, superheroes, advanced technology, and all other types of stuff. So instead of running away or fleeing scared, these group of people start to square up and put the beat down on this alien. And it is pretty effective, as for the most part they are actually able to hold him down. I say for the most part because just then, an electric whistle buzzes out into the open, making everyone present clutch their head in utter pain as more aliens start to beam down and arrive, speaking some kind of unlegible language. But of course with this act of aggression, these aliens are now prepared and ready to kill, as one ups his weapon at the students getting ready to pull the trigger. And as it does, we then see the invincible Superman makes his entrance wearing his iconic and classic suit with the black emblem on the S shield on his chest, with the comic even going on to say, it was a sunny summer day, unreasonably sunny, near record temperatures, a perfect day to soak up the unrelenting sun, but for the last son of Krypton, that means unrelenting power. And a couple interesting things happen here, because famously, as you know, Superman is one big blue Boy Scout, but there are a couple things that he doesn't take kindly to, and one of them are threatening the lives of innocents. So as Superman steps up, absolutely ticked off, he then makes something clear as he talks to the aliens, saying, I've never seen your race before, friend, so let me introduce myself. I am Superman and this is my home. As he effortlessly lifts him above his head with one arm ready to now put the beat down on him. But before anything could even progress further, we then see everything stopped by the intrusion of somebody else. An alien sure, but one of a different species this time. No, not of the giant green reptilian men, but one of a small four-armed gray skin looking rarity. As this little creature goes to stop the battle, saying Superman please, he is only doing what he was born to do. And as the little creature goes to introduce himself, saying that he is Exalt of the Stall people, and the green reptilian creature is a Gorathian. And so with this we get a little bit of lore and backstory about what is even going on. As you see, an entire armada of ships are now parked in the space above Earth, as Superman goes on to question Exalt, saying you're kind of a long way from home, because he is, many galaxies in fact. But Superman gets straight to it, asking if these aliens are here to threaten either Superman or Earth itself. But Exalt says no. He is merely a lowly diplomat, but he is here to beg for Superman's help. And the reason why they showed up here is because they followed the journalist who seemed to know him best, who was Clark Kent unbeknowingly to everyone, which is Superman himself. But still, Superman goes on to say, you may be a diplomat, but you send a strike force of warriors down first. That doesn't seem very neighborly, I must say. And Exalt, this little gray alien, makes something very clear, as he tells Superman that he is misunderstood. They are not neighbors, they are their captors. And he continues on saying, we are just one of 1,000 worlds that lack the capacity or the even capability for war, or even to defend ourselves. It was thought with numbers or in lions that we would appear too numerous, too widespread to even be targeted by conquerors. But unfortunately they have made a grave mistake. As you see, the alliance that they have tried to form with the Gorathians actually did the opposite of what they're intending. As you see, these green creatures instituted something called the Games, brutal combat competitions that of course peaceful races and species had no chance of winning. And the terms that they were forced to agree with, if they lost the games, they would lose their planets, their resources, their very freedom, and it would all be forfeit. And finally, this little gray alien speaks up to ask for help, telling Superman that will you help us? Will you be our champion? No other voice in the universe has answered our call. But of course, this angering the green Gorathian, he then ups his blaster at the little gray man, getting ready to pull the trigger and kill him, which he might have and would have been successful in if he didn't try to do it in the presence of Superman. As the comic goes on to say, Superman is a patient creature, but not endlessly so, meaning even the Man of Steel has his limits, as he grabs a blaster out of his hands and literally tears it apart with his teeth, biting it to shreds, which is just a crazy panel and kind of random that Superman would just do this, but hey, I guess that is pretty intimidating. Imagine fighting someone and they grab your gun, literally biting it to pieces with their bare teeth. And as Superman does this, he then tells the aliens that they have come to the wrong planet. And of course with the leader of this group of the Gorathians, as previously he is used to getting his way and bullying weaker species and people. But he's picked the wrong fight with the Man of Steel, as Superman begins their battle once more, making quick and effortless work of these soldiers. And as Superman takes out this guy's team, he then makes a pretty harrowing threat. Every gun on every ship in our full armada will be aimed at the ridiculous symbol on your chest. And even if you live, you will be the only survivor in history with 2 dead homeworlds. Because yeah, Superman being who he is, would most likely and effortlessly survive gunfire from the warships. But the same couldn't be said for the people, city, maybe even the entire planet Earth, as it would be bombarded from orbit by hundreds of ships, leading to the deaths of most likely thousands if he doesn't surrender and agree to take place in the Gorathians' games. And so with that, Superman accepts the challenge. But it seems like these Gorathians aren't complete barbaric creatures, as they do have a set of rules. As you see, Superman is entitled to, well, 2 seconds to pick anyone who will stand with him during these trials and games. And so Superman immediately thinks of Batman and Wonder Woman, because hey, you can't get much better than the Trinity, can you? But unfortunately for the Man of Steel, he won't get to have this little hero reunion, as 2 seconds quickly pass, and instead of Batman and Wonder Woman, Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen are taken and teleported with him instead, as they are teleported on top of a giant floating ship that kind of resembles the SHIELD helicarrier from Marvel. But Exalt goes on to tell Superman, do not underestimate the Gorathians. They will not hesitate to destroy your world, just as they have 100 others. And the ship that they are on, not only does it weigh 80,000 tons, but it has some sort of nuclear propulsion system, meaning if this thing was to crash land down into Metropolis, it could spell doom for the entire city. And so with that, we see the Gorathians broadcast it across the entire world, informing everyone of this challenge that the world is now unwillingly participating in, as we see Superman's parents, John and Martha Kent, even down to one of Superman's arch enemies, Lex Luthor, see and watch this happen. And with that, Superman's first opponent of this trial begins, as he sets out and has to fight this gigantic beast named Galalax the Handsome. And so the Man of Steel, having no fear, sets off, immediately using his heat vision to try and subdue the giant creature. But it seems that that is pretty useless and ineffective, as the creature just walks through it, slamming down on top of Superman. As the comic goes on to say, sticky slick tentacles shoot towards Superman's face at the speed of light, and with the impact of a meteor storm, which simply put means this creature is pretty powerful, as it literally grabs Superman, keeping him in place, as Superman continues to use his laser vision, which is decreasing in effectiveness. And you might be saying, okay, what are the other heroes doing about this? Surely they will come to Superman's rescue, but it seems that there is an impenetrable dome across the city, even holding the might of Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, and Hawkman, and presumably the rest of the Justice League. And I know every story needs to have its conflict and stakes, but it's crazy how random creatures and civilizations pop up with this almost unstoppable creatures and technology. Some sort of alien creature that can match Superman, and also these Gorathians having technology that can even hold the power of the Justice League. But Superman even goes on to say how his vision is starting to fade to black, how there is some sort of psychic feedback, and it's agonizing. And this creature is even resisting his heat vision. But the creature starts to widen his mouth, calling out mentally and psychically to Superman, telling him to do not struggle. All will be well once I have consumed you. But Superman then realizes that he has more tricks in his bag, and seeing how heat vision doesn't work, he decides maybe ice will. Specifically bitter frozen temperatures delivered with the force of a compact hurricane, as he blows down the mouth hole of this creature, freezing him from the inside out. And using his incredible speed, he flies around, wrapping around the creature in a blur, tying him up with his own limbs and tossing him aside, finally defeating it, calling out to the Gorathian leader that his champion is out and Superman has won. But of course, if only things were this simple, as his Gorathian is a pretty sore loser, as he says well done, but time is up, as he teleports and gets away. But before he is able to, the entire nuclear powered carrier falls upon the city, 80,000 tons floating like a feather, until it is no longer held above and starts plummeting. And there is only one man who can save both the ship and the city, and it is none other than Superman. But there's only one problem. It's just at that horrifying moment, he has no idea how, as Superman not only has seconds to react before the ship crashes down, killing not only everybody on board, but most likely taking the entire city and millions with it. But with that, this issue and video comes to a close. If you made it this far, leave a like or subscribe if you enjoyed this type of content. Now, this was the Hero Informer, and thank you for watching.